Okay, so what I'm seeing for you in the next 48 hours, this is different. This isn't one of those good vibes are coming kind of readings. This is a portal. This is literally the official kickoff of a brand new season, like real, tangible change. And if you're watching this right now, you're already in it. You're already in the flow. So here's what I need you to actually take seriously before we go any further. The universe responds to action. Not big dramatic gestures, small, genuine ones. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Subscribe. That's you saying, I'm here, I'm paying attention, I'm not letting this one slip by. Let that be your first move toward the chapter that's literally about to start. Hey loves, welcome back. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Alice. I am so glad you showed up today because honestly, this is one of those moments. Like a real breakthrough kind of moment. Stay with me all the way through. There's a lot in here, and every single bit of it is for you. The first card I pulled for your current situation is the Lovers. And I need you to hear me when I say this is not a simple card. People see the Lovers and they think romance, they think sweetness. And yes, that energy is in here, but that is not the whole story. The Lovers is fundamentally a card about choice, a real one. The kind that sits heavy in your chest because you already know. The answer probably isn't going to be easy either way. Right now, you are standing at a fork in the road. For a lot of you watching this, that fork has a person at the center of it. Maybe two people. Maybe a version of yourself on one side and someone else's expectations on the other. However it's showing up, something needs a decision, and you've been circling it. Then the Two of Swords came in right alongside it. And that told me everything. The Two of Swords is the card of the blindfold, the crossed arms, the deliberate not looking. Sometimes not deciding is the only way to keep the peace while you figure things out. But the cards are being very clear. That middle ground is closing. The space where you could sit with both options and not fully commit, it's shrinking. For some of you, this is a love triangle. Two people, one choice. A situation that has been pulling you in opposite directions for longer than you've admitted out loud. For others, it's a rivalry. Someone in your orbit who wants what you have, or who is competing for the same person, the same space in someone's life. Either way, you already know more than you're letting yourself know. The answer isn't lost, you're just not ready to look at it yet. But that's about to change, within these next 48 hours. The card that came in for external influences is the Seven of Swords, and this one made me stop and look twice. The Seven of Swords is the card of someone moving quietly, carefully, with intention, and not necessarily with your best interest at heart. There is someone in your orbit right now whose energy is actively shaping your situation, and they are not being straight with you about it. This isn't always malicious. Sometimes it's insecurity. Sometimes people act sideways because they don't know how to act direct, but the impact on you is real. That low-level unease, that sense that something is slightly off, that's not you being paranoid. That's you picking up on something that's actually there. Then the moon came in, and that confirmed everything. The moon is the card of hidden things, the gap between what is being presented and what is actually true. The full picture of your situation has not been revealed to you yet. There are conversations you're not part of, decisions being made that involve you without you. Someone is playing a role in your story that you haven't fully clocked yet. They're present, they're influential, and they are absolutely aware of you, even if they're pretending otherwise. Here's what I want you to take from this. Knowing that this energy exists is already your advantage. You don't have to confront anyone, but stop dismissing your instincts. Stop talking yourself out of what you're already feeling. The moon doesn't show up to confuse you. It shows up to tell you to trust your gut, because right now, your gut is seeing more clearly than your eyes are. The card that came in for this position is the Tower, and I want you to take a breath before I explain this one, because this card has a reputation that tends to make people tense up immediately. The Tower is not soft. It's the lightning strike, the walls coming down, the sudden shift you didn't plan for and didn't choose. But here is what I need you to understand. It does not destroy what was actually working. It never has. The Tower only ever dismantles what was already unstable, what was already held together with effort and avoidance and hope that things would somehow stay workable a little longer. There's something in your life right now, a relationship, a situation, a dynamic, that has been taking more than it's been giving, and you've been managing it, quietly holding it together. The Tower is saying, that time is up. Not cruelly, but because continuing to hold it together was costing you things you can't afford to keep spending. Then the Eight of Cups came in right beside it, and that combination stopped me. The Eight of Cups shows a figure walking away, not running, not dramatically leaving, just walking, choosing, deliberately and without fanfare, to move on from something that is no longer enough. Leaving the cups behind even though they're still standing, even though it would be easier in some ways to stay. Your life is already changing. What might feel like loss right now, things falling apart, being left behind, that is not a sign something has gone wrong. That is the change itself. That is the necessary part. This is not a comfortable phase. There will be moments in these next 48 hours where the uncertainty feels heavier than you expected, where part of you wants to turn around and go back to what was familiar. Don't. The version of your life being built right now is more honest than the one you're leaving, more solid, more actually yours. But you have to let the old structure come down first. That's the work, and you are already doing it. The card that came in for this position is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is the card of the 3 a.m. thought, the replaying, the second guessing, the moment where you go back through everything and ask yourself what you could have done differently. Whether you were naive, whether you let yourself be fooled by someone you should have seen more clearly. Some of you have been carrying a specific memory, a moment where you trusted and it cost you. And the lesson you took wasn't just be more careful. Somewhere underneath it became, maybe I can't trust my own judgment. That is what the fear is really about. Not the other person. You. Then the Five of Cups came in beside it, and that told me exactly where this is rooted. The Five of Cups shows a figure staring at the spilled cups, the ones that are gone. Behind them, still standing, still full, are 2 cups that haven't been touched. Still there, still waiting. The cards are not dismissing what you've been through. They're asking you to lift your eyes. The fear you're carrying is not a flaw. It is not weakness. That fear is information. The part of you that learned, the hard way, what to pay attention to. It is armor that was built for a reason, and it did its job. The question now is not, how do I get rid of this fear? The question is, can I carry what I've learned without letting it make the decision for me? There is a difference between wisdom and walls. Wisdom moves forward with eyes open. Walls say nothing gets in. And right now, the walls are starting to cost you more than the risk ever did. Your past did not break your judgment. It sharpened it. The version of you standing here now is not less capable of love or trust or good things. That person is more ready than they have ever been. The card that came in for this position is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is the card of lack. Not imagined lack, actual, felt, tangible lack. The kind where you're doing the math in your head before you go to sleep. Where an unexpected expense doesn't just inconvenience you, it destabilizes you. You're not being careless. You're not doing anything wrong. It just keeps moving through your hands before you can hold on to it. But for others of you, this isn't only about money. It's about energy. There is someone in your immediate life who takes more than they give. After you've spent time with this person, you feel it. A flatness, a heaviness. Like something that was full before is now running on empty. And it's always after contact with the same person. That is not a coincidence. Then the Four of Cups came in. And this is the part I really need you to hear. The Four of Cups is the card of someone so locked in on what's missing that they're totally blind to what's actually being handed to them. There's a hand reaching out with something real, a new resource, a new opening, and the figure just isn't taking it. Not because they're arrogant, because they're exhausted. Because when you've been running on empty long enough, it gets genuinely hard to see past the drain. The drain is real. I'm not going to minimize that, but it is not the whole picture. So here's the practical piece. Get honest about where your energy is actually going. Who's getting it, and what's coming back? Some people in your life need to be quietly, firmly limited. No drama, just a decision. And then lift your eyes enough to see what might be sitting right there that you've been too depleted to notice. The Four of Cups doesn't show up to tell you nothing is coming. It shows up to tell you something is already there, and you almost missed it. Don't miss it. The card that came in for this position is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is not a flashy card. He doesn't arrive loudly. What he carries is something quieter and rarer, emotional steadiness, genuine capability, the kind of presence that makes the room feel more settled just by being in it. For some of you, this is a person about to enter your orbit, or re-enter it, within these next 48 hours. When they show up, your first instinct might be to underestimate what they're bringing. After the season you've been in, something solid and calm might not register as significant at first. You've been braced for difficulty so long that ease can feel almost suspicious. Don't let that instinct cost you this. For others, the King of Cups represents an offer, a conversation, a door that opens, not dramatically, but genuinely. Whatever is being offered fully. Then the Knight of Cups came in, and that combination stopped me completely. The Knight of Cups is the card of someone coming toward you with intention. He doesn't show up loud or unannounced. He moves with purpose, carrying something real. He is not testing the waters. He already knows what he's bringing, and he's bringing it directly to you. Paired with the King of Cups, what's coming is not just emotionally significant. It is the start of something with genuine momentum behind it. Stable, grounded, emotional presence arriving at the exact same moment as a brand new ignition point. Whatever or whoever is coming in these next 48 hours is not just a passing moment. It is a pivot, a before and after. The energy is immediate. It is already moving toward you. What the cards are asking of you is one thing. Be present enough to receive it. Not guarded. Not already building your case for why it won't work out. Actually present. Eyes up, attention clear, willing to let something good land. Let it in. The card that came in for this position is the Wheel of Fortune. And when this card lands on a specific date, I pay attention in a way I don't with most pulls. The Wheel of Fortune is not a card of gradual progress. It is the turn, the actual, definitive moment where the cycle shifts and what was going down starts going up. It is fate moving as a real, concrete event in your actual life. And it landed on the 19th. The 19th of the coming month is a hinge point, a before and after. Something will happen on or immediately around that date, a conversation, a decision, an unexpected development that will look small in the moment and turn out to be enormous in retrospect. That is how the Wheel of Fortune works. It rarely announces itself loudly. It just turns. And then you look back and you can point to the exact day everything changed. For some of you, this will be financial. a door that has been closed suddenly opening. For others, it will be relational, a conversation that resolves something that has been sitting unresolved for way too long. For others still, it will be internal, a clarity, a decision that finally locks in after months of going back and forth. Then the Ten of Wands came in directly beside it, and I had to sit with that for a long moment. The Ten of Wands is the card of someone who has been carrying too much for too long. Head down, shoulders loaded, still moving, but barely. You've been hauling something that was never meant to be yours alone. And what this card is saying, right beside the Wheel of Fortune on this specific date, is that the 19th is not just a turning point. It is a put-it-down point. The moment where you finally get to set the load down. Not because you gave up, because you made it far enough that you don't have to carry it anymore. The message is clear. The 19th is not a coincidence. The weight you've been dragging through everything is converging on that date, not as more pressure, as release. The Wheel of Fortune doesn't turn for people who checked out. It turns for people who stayed in the game. That is you. And the 19th is yours. The card that came in for this position is the Ace of Pentacles, and it is not a small card. The Ace of Pentacles is not the card of slow, steady accumulation. It is the card of a new financial beginning arriving fully formed, a windfall you did not engineer and did not see coming. Money that appears almost out of nowhere and changes the immediate material reality of your life. A payment you weren't anticipating. A return on something you had mentally written off. Something that makes you feel, maybe for the first time in a while, that there is actual breathing room. For others, the Ace of Pentacles is the seed of something new. A financial door that opens that you did not knock on. And what matters is not just the immediate amount, but what it represents. The beginning of a completely different relationship with money than the one you've been living inside. Some of you have been in a scarcity headspace for so long it started to feel like just your life. Not a season, a permanent condition. The Ace of Pentacles is a direct interruption of that pattern. Then Strength came in, and that combination is one I don't take lightly. Strength is the card of something waking back up inside you. Not because things finally got easier on the outside, but because something in you unlocks and you suddenly have access to reserves you forgot you had. Like a second wind you stopped believing was coming. Paired with the Ace of Pentacles, what is coming is not just a financial shift. It is a full restoration. Money and energy arriving together in a way that builds on itself. When the financial pressure lifts even a little, something in your body and your mind lets go. The heaviness starts to lift. The ideas come back. The feeling that things are possible comes back. Not just more money, more of you. The Ace of Pentacles does not show up as a false promise, and Strength does not show up for people who have nothing left. It shows up when the turn is real. Receive this one. All of it. The card that came in for this position is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is the card of rest after battle. Not defeat, rest. The figure in this card is not broken. They are not giving up. They are lying down because they have been through something that took everything they had. And the body and the spirit are now doing what they're built to do when the intensity finally lifts. Recover. Some of you have been off. Not in a dramatic way, but in that quiet, grinding way that just wears on a person. Tired in a way that sleep doesn't fully fix. Tension in your shoulders, your jaw, your chest, that you've been carrying so long you almost forgot it was there. For others, this has been more emotional. A grayness to the days that makes everything take just a little more effort than it should. Getting through rather than actually living. The Four of Swords is not telling you this will go on. It is telling you this is ending. Then the Six of Swords came in beside it. And together these two cards are telling a really complete story. The Six of Swords is the card of passage. Moving away from rough water toward calm water. The water behind the figure is choppy and unsettled. The water ahead is still. They're not there yet, but they are moving. The worst of it is behind them. That is where you are right now. You are in the boat. Your system is starting to rebalance. The recovery is already happening, not as something you have to push toward or earn, as something that is just, finally, arriving. You have not been weak. Carrying all of this while still showing up, still moving, still being present for your life, that took real strength. The Six of Swords does not appear for people heading deeper into the storm. It appears for people who have already turned toward the calmer water. That is you. And it is closer than it feels. Within 48 hours, the card that came in for this position is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is the card of genuine meeting, not a transaction, not a surface-level exchange, an actual, real encounter where something passes between two people. Recognition, understanding, the feeling of being truly seen. This card does not show up for casual run-ins or forgettable conversations. And it landed inside this 48-hour window. Within 48 hours of watching this reading, you are going to run into someone, or re-encounter someone, and what happens between you is going to reach something that's been sitting untouched in you for a long time. Not because the conversation will be long or dramatic, but because something about that connection is going to remind you of something you forgot about yourself. Some of you already know who this is. A name or a face came to mind the second I said 48 hours. That's not random. For others, this will be someone unexpected, because the Two of Cups doesn't need history. It just needs two people who are actually present with each other, even briefly. Then the Six of Wands came in directly beside it. The Six of Wands is not a soft card. It is the card of what is actually correct arriving, not what is fast, not what is easy, but what is fair and true and overdue. In this position, beside the Two of Cups, it is saying, this meeting is not accidental. There is a rightness to it. Something that was out of balance is being corrected through this connection. Something that needed to land is finally going to land. This encounter inside these 48 hours is part of your path forward. This person is going to give you something you cannot manufacture on your own right now. A restored sense of what's real. A reminder that genuine connection still exists and still finds you. The Two of Cups is not asking you to need less. It is asking you to be open to receiving more. 48 hours. Be present for it. All the way present. Don't let it pass by while you're already thinking about the next problem to solve. The card that came in for this position is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is the card of creative fire. Pure creative energy showing up as a new beginning. Not something you forced, but something moving through you. The impulse that comes before the plan. The spark before you know what you're building yet. You have been creating. Maybe not in any formal or public way. Maybe not in a way anyone else has seen. But something in you has been reaching toward making something. Putting something into form that wasn't there before. And what this card is confirming is that this urge is not a distraction from your healing. It is the healing. Most people treat creativity like it's optional, like it's something you earn time for once the real stuff is handled. But here's the thing. When you make something, you move something through you that needed to move. You kick stagnation out. You trade the heaviness for something alive. That is not small. That is actually the work. Some of you have been doing this without even calling it that. Cooking something elaborate, rearranging a room, writing stuff down that nobody's ever going to read. Those aren't small acts. You've been clearing yourself through creativity, and it's been working even on the days it didn't feel like it. Then the High Priestess came in beside it. The High Priestess is the card of deep knowing, of trust that doesn't need proof to hold itself up. She sits between what you can see and what you can't, and she is not stressed about the part she can't see yet. She trusts what she can't fully put into words. Your faith has been doing real work this whole time. The part of you that kept believing even when the evidence was thin, that kept showing up. that kept a small flame going even in the stretches when it would have been so easy to just let it die out. That faith is not passive, it is active. It is clearing the space around you in ways that are real, even when you can't see them yet. You are not waiting to be healed. You are already healing. Keep making things. Keep trusting what you can't fully see yet. Both are working, more than you know. The card that came in for this position is the Ten of Cups. And I want you to stop for a second, because this card in this position is not something I move past quickly. The Ten of Cups is the card of the dream that lives deepest. Not the career goal, not the number in your bank account. This is the card of home as a feeling, of love that isn't complicated or conditional or always just slightly out of reach, but fully present and fully yours. The figure in this card is not reaching toward something. They have arrived, and it landed inside this 48-hour window. Within 48 hours of watching this reading, something connected to your deepest dream is going to move. Not as a distant signal, as something you can actually feel. Something that reminds you that what you've been holding on to through all of this was not foolish. It was not naive. It was always pointing at something real. For some of you, this is a reunion. A door that's been closed way longer than it should have been, finally opening. A person you've been waiting to hear from. That distance is about to close. For others, this is a moment at home so simple and so completely good that it cuts right through all the noise of everything you've been carrying. Sometimes the most significant thing is the quietest thing. A conversation at the kitchen table. Someone reaching for your hand. A Tuesday evening you'll remember for the rest of your life. Then the Six of Cups came in beside it. The Six of Cups is the card of sweetness returning, the warmth of something real and familiar coming back into your life after a season that felt cold and complicated. It is not asking you to live in the past. It is saying the best parts of what you remember, the ease, the safety, the feeling of being genuinely at home with someone, those things are not gone. They are coming back in a form that actually fits who you are now. The Six of Cups appearing beside the Ten of Cups is telling me the fog of that uncertain season is lifting. The confusion is resolving, not because you finally figured it all out, but because the timing has arrived. The Ten of Cups does not land for people whose dream is still years away. It lands when the dream is at the door. 48 hours. Stay open. Stay present. Let it in when it arrives. All the way in. Not halfway, not at arm's length. You have waited long enough for this one. The card that came in for this position is the Empress. The Empress is one of the most powerful figures in the entire deck. Not powerful in the sharp, cutting way of someone who wins by force. Powerful in the way that fertile ground is powerful. She is authority that doesn't need to announce itself. The woman in the room who says very little and changes everything. And she came in pointing at a specific person in your life. There is a woman connected to your current situation. Older than you, or just more established, carrying more access or authority than you currently have. And this person is either already moving on your behalf, or she is about to be. She is not neutral. She is already in your corner. She sees something in your situation that she has decided deserves her attention. And when a woman carrying the Empress energy decides to move, things move. Some of you know exactly who this is. A mentor, a boss or employer, a woman in your family who carries real weight when she speaks. When her name or face comes to mind as you sit with this, that instinct is right. Trust it. For others, she is someone you haven't fully recognized as being on your side yet. The Empress rarely announces herself, but she has been watching. She has formed an opinion, it is favorable, and she is about to act on it. Then the Hierophant came in directly beside her. The Hierophant is the card of someone who carries institutional weight. His word means something not just personally, but inside the system. The structures, the hierarchies, the places where official decisions get made. Paired with the Empress, this is not just goodwill coming your way. This is goodwill with real reach. Support that can actually open doors, shift outcomes, change the numbers. There is something in your life that has felt stuck, or unfair, or just persistently unresolved. You have been working on this longer than should have been necessary. You kept doing the right thing even when the results weren't showing up yet. The Empress is already in motion. The Hierophant has the institutional reach to deliver. And the resolution that has been overdue is closer than it has ever been. The card that came in for this position is the Hermit. The Hermit is the elder of the deck. He carries his own light, a lantern held high not to show off how far he has traveled, but to light the path for the people coming after him. He is patience you can see, wisdom that got earned slowly, through years and losses and survivals, built into something that cannot be rushed or faked. When the Hermit shows up in a position like this, he is not just talking about you. He is talking about where you come from. There are people in your lineage who endured things that should have broken them and didn't. People who kept going not because it was easy, but because something in them just did not quit. That quality was not an accident. It was built over generations, and it got passed to you. Whatever you are in the middle of right now, the hard stuff, the uncertainty, the waiting, it is not too much for what you carry. Your people already proved that. Then the Page of Cups came in beside it. The Page of Cups is the card of an unexpected message, something arriving out of nowhere, tender, surprising, a little vulnerable. It is the card of someone reaching out when you didn't expect them to, a communication that cracks something open in a good way. It shows up when the universe is trying to deliver something soft to someone who has been braced for hard for too long. Your ancestors are saying, "We are already behind you. We are already underneath you. You do not need to reach back for us. We are in you. Now turn around and face what is ahead." And what is ahead includes something coming toward you right now. A message, a conversation, a moment of unexpected tenderness that is going to land differently than you thought. That is going to remind you that you are not as alone in this as you have been feeling. The Hermit says, "I have lived long enough to know this is real." The Page of Cups says, "Something soft is already on its way to you." Your ancestors are not worried about you. They are watching with the calm of people who already know how this part of the story ends. Face forward. What's coming is good. The card that came in for this position is the Sun. The Sun is not a subtle card. It is not a card that hedges or whispers. It is full light, full warmth, full visibility. The card of things finally being clear. Things finally going right in a way you can actually see and feel and touch. Not hope, not almost, actual good things arriving in your actual life. For the person watching this right now, the Sun is saying your position is changing. What has been in the dark is coming into the light. What has been cold is warming up. What has felt out of reach is pulling closer. Real, tangible good fortune is coming. And it's coming in the areas that matter most to you right now. Then the Star came in beside it. The Star is the card that arrives after the storm. Deep, settled hope that has been tested and held. The figure in the Star pours water freely, without fear of running out. That is the energy of someone who has moved through the hard season and landed somewhere that actually feels like relief. Together, the Sun and the Star are saying, what is coming is not a quick flash of good news. It is the beginning of a new chapter, a real shift that changes the baseline of your life. Now I want to talk about the signs, because they came through with unusual clarity. Over the next 48 hours, The universe is going to send you confirmation that this shift is real and already moving. These are not signs you need to go hunting for. They will come to you. The first is the number 11. You will see it somewhere in the texture of your normal day. On a clock, a receipt, an address. When you see it, do not dismiss it. 11 is the number of alignment. The invisible becoming visible. The universe saying, yes, still yes, keep going. The second is a butterfly. Butterflies are the symbol of a transformation that has already happened. If a butterfly crosses your path in the next 48 hours, in real life, in a photo, in something someone sends you, take it as confirmation that your transformation is not still pending. It is already done. You are already who you've been trying to become. The circumstances just need a couple more days to catch up. The third is a rainbow. Rainbows need two things, rain and light. They can't exist without both. A rainbow in the next 48 hours is the universe's most direct way of telling you that everything you have been through was never wasted. It was the exact condition required to produce what is coming. The sun does not rise for people whose good season is still far away. The star does not land for people still inside the storm. Watch for the 11. Watch for the butterfly. Watch for the rainbow. And when they come, let them be proof. The card that came in for this position is the 5 of Swords. And I'm not going to soften what this card is saying, because being gentle about it would actually do you a disservice right now. The 5 of Swords is the card of someone who plays to win, and doesn't care much about what it costs you. This is not the quiet, sneaky energy of someone tiptoeing around. This is someone who will smile at you, take what they need, and walk away looking like they did nothing wrong. They are not operating in good faith. They are operating in self-interest, and they are skilled at making it look like something else. Right now, when things are starting to shift in your favor, when the good stuff is finally getting close, there is someone in your immediate circle who can feel that shift happening before you can fully see it yourself. This person shows up looking interested in your life, asking detailed questions about what you're working on, what you're hoping for. Getting involved in your plans in ways that feel helpful but leave you feeling a little off afterward. Taking your ideas, your momentum, your energy, and using them for themselves. Dropping a doubt so quietly you don't even realize where it came from until later. Then, the 3 of Swords came in beside it. The 3 of Swords is the card of a hurt that came from somewhere you didn't expect. A betrayal, a disappointment, a moment where someone you trusted showed you exactly who they were. And it cost you. In this position, it is not predicting a fresh wound. It is pointing at the pattern. This is not new behavior from this person. You have already felt this before with them. You already have data on who they are. The cards are asking you to stop explaining it away. This person is not a stranger. They already have access. You have already extended trust to them. I am not telling you to blow anything up. What the cards are asking for is quiet, deliberate discernment about what you share, with whom, and when. In the next 48 hours, as things begin to open for you, keep the most important developments close. Your privacy is your protection. The person who doesn't know your plans can't get in the way of them. The person who can't describe what you're building can't redirect it. The 5 of Swords says, know who you're dealing with before you speak. The 3 of Swords says, you already know. Stop pretending you don't. Your fortune is real. It is coming, and it belongs entirely to you. The card that came in for this position is the Magician, and I need you to hear what this actually means for the next 48 hours, because this is not a moment to scroll past. The Magician has every tool on his table, the wand, the cup, the sword, the pentacle, all of it right in front of him. He doesn't need to go find anything. He doesn't need to wait until he's more ready. Everything required is already there. The only question is whether he actually picks it up and uses it. That is you right now. The channel between what you want and what becomes real is more open right now than it normally is. I don't say that to every reading. I say it when the cards actually back it up, and right now, they do. So here's what I want you to do with this. Today. Not tomorrow, not when things settle down, not when you feel more ready. Today. Find a quiet spot. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be long. Just real. Think about the one thing, the one actual specific thing that you want most right now. Not a category. Not more abundance or better energy. The real thing. The specific thing. The thing you think about when nobody's watching and you let yourself actually want it. Now hold it. Feel what it feels like to already have it. Not to be hoping for it, to already have it. That feeling in your chest when you imagine it being done, being real, being yours. Stay there for a minute. Let it feel familiar instead of far away. That is not wishful thinking. That is you sending a signal. And right now, the signal is getting through faster than usual. Then the Nine of Pentacles came in beside it, and that combination hit me. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of someone who has already built something real with their own hands and is standing fully inside it. Not waiting for permission, not looking over her shoulder. She is already living in the life she created. Confident, self-sufficient, surrounded by the evidence of what she put together through her own effort and intention. Paired with the Magician, what this is saying is, what you put your intention toward in the next 48 hours has real soil to land in. This is not the season to be vague about what you want. Get specific. Get honest. Let yourself actually want the thing you want. The Magician says, you have everything you need. The Nine of Pentacles says, plant it now, while the ground is this good. The window is open. Use it. The card that came in for this position is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is not the card of defeat. He is not stuck. He chose to stop. He chose to suspend himself between one moment and the next. Not because he gave up on moving forward, but because he understood something that most people miss. That the pause itself is the move. That sometimes the only way to see clearly is to stop trying to force the view. He is completely still, and he is seeing everything differently because of it. For a lot of you watching this, that image is almost foreign. You have been so used to the mental noise, the running calculations, the replaying of conversations, the rehearsing of scenarios that haven't happened yet. The low-level hum of worry that has been going so long you've started to mistake it for just how life feels. That genuine quiet seems like something available only after the problems get solved. Not something available to you right now, in the middle of everything still unresolved. The Hanged Man is here to tell you that's wrong. The peace that is coming in the next 48 hours is not waiting for your circumstances to be resolved first. It is coming as its own thing, separate from the external conditions of your life, which is the only kind of peace that is actually real and actually lasts. Then the Ace of Swords came in right beside it, and this pairing landed with a sharpness I want to deliver clearly. The Ace of Swords is the card of mental clarity arriving. The sword held upright, cutting through fog. The moment where something that has been murky and complicated and exhausting to think about suddenly becomes clear. Not because the situation changed, but because something shifted in how you're seeing it. A realization. A truth that has been sitting there all along, but that you weren't quite positioned to receive until now. This is what is coming for you in the next 48 hours. There will be a moment. It may arrive quietly, without announcement, possibly in the middle of something completely ordinary, where something settles. Where the question you have been turning over stops feeling urgent. Where the thing you have been bracing against loses some of its grip on the inside of your mind. It will not necessarily feel like a thunderclap. For most of you, it will feel more like a slow exhale you didn't realize you were holding. Like something putting down its weight. The Ace of Swords says this settling comes with clarity. Not all the answers at once, but the one central understanding that, once it arrives, makes everything else more manageable. The load doesn't disappear, but you will find that you can suddenly carry it differently, more lightly, with less resistance in your body. Here is what I want you to hear about these 48 hours specifically. Do not spend them trying to force the peace to arrive. You cannot think harder until you get to the calm on the other side of overthinking. The peace that is coming needs one thing from you: permission. Permission to stop. Permission to let the mental noise quiet down without immediately filling the silence back up. Permission to not have it all figured out right this second, and to be genuinely okay with that, even briefly. Some of you will find the clarity shows up in the space you create by doing less, not more. It shows up on a walk, in the shower, in the 10 minutes before sleep when you actually put the phone down. The understanding is already formed. It is already on its way to you. Your job is not to go out and find it. Your job is to be still enough that it can land. The Hanged Man says, "The pause is not the enemy of resolution. It is the condition for it." The Ace of Swords says, "The clarity you've been wearing yourself out trying to manufacture is already coming. You don't have to chase it." Within 48 hours, something in you is going to quiet down. Something that has been loud and relentless and consuming is going to lose its grip. You are going to feel, maybe for the first time in a while, like you can actually breathe again. That is not a distant possibility. That is what the card said. Let it come. The card that came in for this final position is the World, and I want you to understand that this card arriving here, at the close of everything we have moved through together, is not coincidence. The cards know where they land, and the World landing here as the last word, as the final image, as the note this entire reading resolves on, that is the most honest and complete summary of where you actually are right now that I could have pulled. Look at what this card actually shows. A figure in motion, arms open, completely unguarded. Not because they are naive, but because they have done the work. Around them, a wreath, a completion. Not the end of something, but the graduation from it. The World is the card that only lands when a full cycle has been completed. When everything that needed to be learned in this chapter has been learned. When the person standing here now is genuinely, fundamentally different from the person who entered this season. That is you, right now, whether you feel it yet or not. I need to say something directly to you right now. You have been through things that would have dismantled other people. Not dramatically, not with anyone watching or applauding. Quietly, privately, in the rooms nobody else saw. In the seasons nobody else fully understood. You absorbed things that had no business landing on one person. You kept going when the most reasonable response would have been to stop. You rebuilt yourself in ways that were invisible to almost everyone around you. And in doing all of that, you completed something. You didn't just survive it. You moved all the way through it. The World does not show up for people who are still in the middle of the lesson. It shows up when the lesson is done. And somewhere along the way, without realizing it, you became someone new. Not harder, not more armored, actually more open, because real completion doesn't close you off, it frees you. It gives you back the parts of yourself you had to set aside just to get through. The softness, the hope, the ability to actually look forward without bracing. Then strength came in beside it. And together, these two cards are saying something I want you to carry with you out of this reading. Strength is the card of something waking back up inside you. The figure who holds the lion, not by force, not by dominance, but by a kind of calm authority that comes from knowing exactly who she is. She is not afraid of the power in front of her. She is not afraid of her own power either. She holds both with the same steady hands. Paired with the World, what this is saying is not just that the cycle is complete. It is that the version of you who completed it is stronger than you know, And that strength is not the lockdown, hold everything together kind you've been running on. It is the open-handed, eyes forward, I know what I'm made of kind. The kind that does not need to brace. The kind that can actually receive. Here's the final thing the cards have to say, and I want to deliver it simply because it came in simply. Do not rush what is ahead. Your happiness is not behind you. It is not something you missed or forfeited or arrived too late for. It is ahead, and it is real, and it is being built right now from everything you have already survived and everything you are still becoming. The timeline is not behind schedule. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, at exactly the moment you are supposed to be here. The world does not land for people who still have years of earning left to do. It lands when you have already arrived. That is you. And the next chapter, the one that starts in these 48 hours, is the one where you finally get to live inside everything you worked so hard to build. The wings are already yours. They have been yours longer than you know. You built them, one hard thing at a time, through every season you refuse to let define you. You do not need to earn the right to fly. You only need to open them. Every single card in this reading has been saying the same thing from a different angle. That is not a collection of themes. That is one story, and it is yours. You are not at the beginning of this. You are deep in it, closer to the arrival than you have been letting yourself admit out loud. Every closed door, every long season, every moment you kept going with no guarantee it was heading somewhere real, none of it was wasted. It was the foundation, and the foundation is done. What is coming now is not more earning, not more proving. It is the part where it becomes visible, where the life you have been holding in your chest, the real version, the full one, starts showing up in your actual, daily, physical reality. Don't let this be something you watch and forget by tomorrow. Drop a comment right now. Tell me which card hit the hardest. Tell me what you are done carrying and what you are choosing to receive instead. Write it out, where it is real and witnessed, where it is not just a quiet thought that dissolves before it takes root. There is something that happens when you name a thing out loud in a space like this. It becomes claimed. Let it be claimed. Like this video if it reached you. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Not as a favor to me, but because coming back to this kind of energy consistently and on purpose is itself an act of alignment. You keep choosing the frequency you want to live in, and eventually, it stops being a place you visit and starts being a place you live. You did the hard part already. You are allowed to receive what comes next. The signals are already moving. The season is already turning. And you, exactly as you are, exactly where you stand right now, are more than ready for everything that is on its way to you. So much love to every single one of you. I will see you in the next one.